right, we're back on the Southern Ontario Dirt Show podcast with Travis Cunningham, myself, Jonathan Howe, and it is episode 24, which my favorite number, a number that I can easily think of a driver that drove the 24, but never on, well, I guess the prelude to the dream. I think that was the only time he ever actually ran a 24 on dirt for Jeff Gordon. But locally, who do you think of when you think of 24s?
I had a hard time thinking of one, I'm not going to lie, but he didn't race this year. But Randy Drew, for me, also used to
Yeah,
work at BRP. So my boy G Spot, Randy Drew.
I was thinking of that. And the other one that came to mind for me, Cameron Lane.
That's the other one for
Cameron
me,
Lane
too.
runs the 24s.
Yeah.
See? Yeah.
I'm sure I'm missing some people
Uh,
back in the day. I'm not up on the back in the day stuff.
I'm kind of surprised there's not more
I thought of a
24s, to be
124,
honest.
but we're
Like,
going to save him for episode 124 because we'll be there.
yeah,
100 episodes.
exactly.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I'm surprised there's not more 24s. Like, Gordon was a pretty influential guy on young racers. I'm surprised nobody's like wanted to take that car and run with it locally, but
Yeah. Like I said, I'm
not
sure
complaining.
there's some we're missing, but maybe not.
There's got to be somebody, but
None of them really jump out. That's for
yeah,
sure.
not a modified for sure.
No.
Like I say, Lane sportsman, but
Anyway,
yeah.
let us know
Well,
any more
let's get going with
24s locally,
Oh yeah,
listeners.
always open to listening. Yeah, I'm always open to suggestions.
Because I love stats like that. I'm weird for stuff like that.
Yeah, some good number stuff like that. Me too. I love a good numerology.
Yeah, totally geek out for that
So
kind of
you
stuff.
run 90, but if you're gonna run any other number, what number would you pick?
Oh man, I don't know. 61's always another one. My dad ran a number 29 car as well. So probably something like that. 61 for Richie Evans. I think he's the best racer of all time.
Nice. I see. I'd be tempted to go 94 for my birth year, and there's not too many 94s when I think of it. The only one like stock car racing wise, I can think of Bill Elliott for a bit ran a 94, but like there's nobody really locally. Is there a 94 locally? I don't think so. Maybe
Stan
on the
Zangen.
sprint car side.
Just he's
Yeah.
been out
Okay.
for a while. Yep.
Yeah.
That's what I can think of. Anyway.
And then I'd pick 9 because my last name's Howe, so gotta go with Gordy. Yeah.
9
So
was my
Humberstone
first
Speedway.
go-kart. Yeah, Humberstone.
That's a
Let's
great number. Great number.
That was my
Humberstone
first
Speedway.
go-kart ever, number 9.
Nice. And now you're 90. I like how it's progressed.
Mm-hmm.
Humberstone Speedway. That was the final event of the year. It feels weird. I think I'm trying to avoid talking about it because I don't want to talk about the fact that we're done here locally in Southern Ontario with racing for the most part. I know Humberstone still got the Eve of Destruction that is scheduled to go off, but in terms of actual racing, we are pretty much wrapped up. Like that, this is it. This is all she wrote on what was a crazy season, and it was a good 2 nights of racing. Particular Friday night was amazing to take in, and we were a part of both nights.
Yeah, Friday night was definitely the best track I've ever been on there. Like, it's my favorite kind of conditions where it's hammer down in hot laps, and then by the heat it's a little blown off, and you got to pedal it a little bit more, but there's still a little bit of bite, but it offers passing. And then by the feature, it's pretty blown off, and there's lots of passing, and like Paulie passed a lot of cars. Paulie was the one doing a lot of the passing, but yeah, Friday night was definitely my favorite night, and I finished 8th. Started 12th, battling with Chuck Heaving. Like the fields that were there was insane. Like 20 of us, or even more than that, of the cars that showed up could easily have won that race if your night went that way. Like it turned into a draw fest, like I kind of predicted a little bit, because the heats were kind of, it's just with all that, everyone's so the same speed, so it's just, so critical these days. Been saying that all year. Every class, same stuff. Everyone's same speed.
Yep.
Except for me.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive to watch. I thought, even though again, passing was at a premium with such a fast racetrack, but it was definitely good battles, good intensity all night long. Watching Paulie come through, I mean, like he only had to go through 2 cars, but to watch him and the way he was able to negotiate lap traffic was pretty impressive stuff. Paulie Giovanni wins the Friday night feature over Mitch Brown, DJ Christie, Nick Sheridan, and Matt Farnham. I want to give a shout out to DJ Christie in that 0J car racing for Glenn Stiers. Brings it home 3rd. Pretty impressive stuff from DJ.
Yeah, he definitely got a good opportunity there and won his heat by almost a track. It seemed like he was Gonzo running the top, and yeah, definitely didn't waste his opportunity in that 0 car. So sure he's hoping that leads something else because he definitely showed he could do it. Not that we didn't know that anyway. He
Yeah,
won 2 races last year.
yeah, exactly. Just needs that one
Yeah.
consistent drive, right? And so that was the 360s Friday night. Like I say, you brought home eighth. Good night for you. Over on the street stock side, Craig Hanley drives up from 11th to take the win over Zach Bleach, Dave Bailey, Ryan Beagle, and Ken Sargent.
Yeah. Was that the night they were 4 wide coming to the checkers? I think it was.
Yeah, I think so. It was pretty close to it. Because
Yeah.
I think the other night, if I remember correctly, was a 2-lap shootout between Beagle and somebody. If I remember.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. Friday night they were 4 wide coming to the win. Hanley got the win. Yeah.
yeah,
For sure. Coming off two. They're 4 wide. Craziness.
insane.
That's just the track Friday night. It was absolutely perfect.
Yeah, just such a quality night of racing that Friday night was. Over on the winged crate sprints side, the action sprint tour, Jacob Dykstra gets the win. Local boy wins it in Port Colborne over Mike Bowman, Darren Dryden, Lance Erskine, Tyler Palace. Except upon further review, we've got a tie.
Yeah.
A tie. Dykstra and
Yep.
Bowman cross the stripe with the like photo finish neck and neck completely down to the wire. Initially, I think it was ruled that Dykstra got the win. Um, there's definitely an argument to be made that Bowman probably deserved the win, but in the end, they end up splitting it. So tell me what you think of that one. And have you ever seen a tie in racing?
Whew. Yeah, I think uh, one's happened for sure at Merrittville. Like I thought I heard of another one happening. Wasn't it this year or last year?
Yeah,
But I know for sure. Like
I
about 10 years ago, Bill Willard was in one in the Sportsman for sure. That was like 2005, 4 ish.
mhm.
Like I know that one for sure. And one other one rings my bell, and then this one with Dykstra and Bowman.
It was.
I just can't think of the other second one.
I know there is. I feel like I may have called it. Maybe I was the one who called the one at
I
Maryville.
think you're right. I know.
Feel like it should
Because I
stick out
remember
more, but
saying that Willard was in one for sure. I remember telling you. But anyway,
yeah,
yeah, Dykstra and Bowman. Yeah, they both. Yeah, Mike definitely showed what he thought about it on Facebook. So
yeah, he was
definitely
mad.
thought there should have been a yellow thrown.
I, it's
And
so
Doug
hard.
Leonard wasn't in the booth that night, so you're like dealing with a new race director. Not that he's a bad one. Joe Skotnicki. He's not like no rookie there, but like not the guy you're used to. And so yeah, he didn't throw the LA race to the line. And then there's another controversy. Like the picture kind of shows Dykstra maybe just a smidge ahead, but that was like Callan was from a different angle, right? He wasn't head on to the line. And then where's the transponder line in the track? I know Merrittville is back a little bit from the actual starter stand. So where is it at Humberstone? Who knows? I know I don't know where it is at Humberstone, if it's lined up with the flag or not. So there's just so many angles to it. But anyway, they tied, and there you go.
Is for me, I was watching it live, and I thought based on the camera that Dykstra won it, and I was immediately not pissed off, but I immediately was like, well, that doesn't really make sense because Bowman like had to lift, like he had somebody spin right in front of him, and you know, I also think though that Bowman could have got maybe I don't want to say he could have got back to the gas more, but if you want like watching it live, my thought was okay, Bowman, you got around the accident, just hammer down, and you might have nosed ahead there because Dykstra was round up
Yeah,
full
it's
song. It's
tough.
so tough, right? I also can
Because it's
100%.
hard to say Doug Leonard might not have thrown the caution there either, because like he's known for holding the caution as well. So Doug probably might not have thrown it there either. Who knows? It didn't get thrown.
It's
Ended up with a tie.
it's what I was thinking too. I was like, just because I don't. We've seen Doug maybe let some stuff go, or at least the driver have a chance. The drivers have a chance. The field have a chance to work around things. So again, it's tough. I'm glad that Bowman at least I'm glad he at
Yeah.
least tied, so he doesn't have to sit here and say that he completely lost the race. But it definitely was definitely a bummer for Bowman, who probably had that thing won without the spin. But heck of a race, regardless, and a really unique moment to get a tie there. Uh, and I would say Mike uh, definitely got the better of it the next night. So that's kind of all that mattered for him. And then also on that night, the sportsman Justin Sharp in the 8S brings it home in first after starting eighth. Adam Leslie comes up one spot short again, second. I think that's going into or after that. That was what 3 or 4 seconds in a row in the last few sportsman events that
Yeah.
Leslie was in. So,
Stay tuned,
yeah,
folks.
right. we'll have an update on Adam in just a
Yeah.
couple moments. But Leslie finishes second. Jordan Costco with a great third place finish. Billy Bleach Jr. fourth, and Nelson Mason brings it home fifth. That was a very quality top five once again from the Sportsman on a Friday night.
Yeah. No doubt about it. Definitely shout out to Costco, old BRP front boy, top three.
Mm-hmm.
Also, his friend up there, Tyler Pachelski, led early laps and was running second or third or whatever it was. And then his motor expired. And like Tyler says, that never happens when you're bombing around in 17th, wishing you weren't even out there. Always happens when you got a fast
Yeah,
car and you're up front. So, yeah, lost the motor in the 1721 P. And so tough break
yeah.
for Tyler and a good run for Jordan. And who won again? Silly me.
Justin
Duh.
Sharp.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say about him. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
because we were saying he's going to win all year, and then he finally does it.
yeah. Last opportunity out too, right? Basically, and
Second
gets it
last
done.
around
Second
here.
last. Yeah, exactly. So it was like
Stay tuned for
you
that
had
too.
to get out there. You had to get it out there.
Yeah.
Just get that win. Somebody who's really had a pretty hot end to the season over in the mini stock side, Anthony Kelly gets the win again. So that's back to back wins in the 12 junior for Anthony Kelly at Humberstone. Wins it over Cole Hardy, Kyle Rothwell, Tyler LaFontaine, and Dylan Bonner.
I don't know what his celebration was like Friday night, but when he won that P. Costco Memorial, it was like lights out celebration. Best I've ever seen.
Guy was
So that's
definitely
all I gotta say
excited.
about Anthony. The kid is the most excited kid I've ever seen,
Yeah,
and to just come out and win races like that, yeah. What else you gotta
got
say?
it. Definitely got to appreciate his winning mentality and his enjoyment of winning. We'll start in kind of reverse order.
The other part I like about that car is the sun faded graphics because it's been sitting on the driveway clearly for a
Yeah,
while where they weren't racing it, and like the whole back of the car is sun faded. And I think it's funny looking to come out with something like that and just spank everybody's
yeah,
butt. So
exactly right.
I think that's funny.
Yeah, they haven't really
And
seen
that's
much
it.
of the Kellys this year, but glad that when they did come out, they were competitive. Good to see for them, and hopefully they can put it together for a full season next year, and
Yep.
hopefully pick up where they left off. Because man, Anthony is rolling right now. Saturday night. We got to get to some championships, so we'll save that for a second. We'll save those, but we'll start with the late models. Andrew Hennessy gets the win in a fairly clean late model feature. Like I got to give the late model drivers
Yep.
credit. I think there might have been, if there was a caution, there might have been one. Um, I don't
I
even
don't think
think
there
there
was
was
one.
one. I'm pretty sure it went green to checkered in the late models. Like I remember, I went on Saturday night.
Mhm. I remember Doug
Yeah,
saying it on the
I
radio.
brought Kyra, and I didn't warn her, but I was like, this could be interesting because the late models. Every time I've been there and watched them at Humberstone, they've had a rough time to say the least. But tonight or on Saturday night, no, not the case. Andrew Hennessy gets it done. Started second, wound up first. Lettingham goes from sixth to second. Spielman ends up third. Greg Haskell fourth, and Jim Dale Jr. Fifth in that 39 late model. So shout out to the late models for putting on a clean race, a competitive race, and shout out to Hennessy for getting the win.
Yep. My buddy Hank from my dart team, he came to his like first race ever, I think, brought his son. And after late model race, all he said was, "Wow, that 87 guy is really fast, eh? Like he spanked him." Like
Yeah,
yeah, I thought it was funny. Like, yep. Uh, that's them Brighton boys in the late models. And then yeah,
yeah, he put on a clinic for sure.
Jimmy Dale in fifth. Shout out.
Um,
Love me some Jimmy Dale.
yeah, I wanted to. We kind of buried the lead a little earlier in the show talking about this, but got to give a call to Adam Leslie, who gets it done, wins it on Saturday night. Finally, after how many second places in a row, the guy finally gets the win in pretty convincing fashion. Leslie Mason, James Friesen, Jay Mallory, and Terry Smith, your top five in the Sportsman on Saturday night.
Yeah. So always bridesmaid, finally the bride. Adam Leslie picks up the win. So
Yep.
awesome run for Adam. Definitely wasn't in question anytime I looked up for that race.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Nelson Mason. Did he lead for a bit at first? I think he did, and Adam got by him
I think he
because
might
I think
have. I think
Nelson
he
was on
might
the
have led
pole,
like, yeah. Nothing
something like
actually.
that.
Let me tell you. To get past the wing crates. Yeah, he was on pole.
See
You were right. So
that
yeah,
memory of mine.
Mason led early, and then Leslie came back and got him. And speaking, come back and got him. Our guest a little later on the show, Chris Hale. gets it done in the street stock Saturday night at Humberstone Speedway, winning over Ryan Beagle, Justin Ramsey, Craig Hanley, and Ron Logie. And that was a big win, right? That was the duel on the dirt
Yeah,
combined finale. Did it pay
three
$3 grand? Do you
thousand to
remember
win.
that? Three?
Most in the pits on
Yeah.
Saturday.
So,
So yeah, that's why he's on the show. Won the biggest street stock race of the year, really paying wise. So
yep.
and yeah, it's gonna be fun chat. I
So
really know nothing
good
about
on
Chris
him.
Hale. Just I've been watching him for a while. I interviewed him earlier this year when I filled in for you when he won Merrittville,
Yep.
and
Hmm.
yeah, can't wait to learn about him.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome to catch up with him, talk to him, another metric car driver,
Yo,
get his take on
wins the
that,
three Gs.
get his take on get his take on trekking from Guelph as well to show up to these races.
Yeah, he just showed up last weekend one night. Yeah, started going fast. Been
Yeah.
around ever since.
All right. Exactly. Yeah, I'm looking forward to getting his story. We got to talk about some championships though. The hardware was handed out in the Action Sprint Tour as well as the Pinty's Knights of Thunder. We'll start with the feature events and then we'll get to the champions. In the winged crate sprints, Mike Bowman gets his desserts. He wins it Saturday night cleanly, convincingly over Matthew Bardier, Dale Curran, Brett Strafford, and Jacob Dykstra brings it home fifth. And so, oddly enough, with Dykstra's fifth place finish, that's enough for him to win the championship. And he has to celebrate in victory lane alongside Mike Bowman for the second night in a row. I don't know. I think that would probably be more annoying for Bowman than anybody, but
Yeah.
Bowman ends up getting the win, and Dykstra ends up winning with the title with 7 wins, 12 top fives, 13 top tens in 14 features that he attended in the 5D this year. So, and that's back to back championships for the 5D and Jacob Dykstra.
Yeah, crazy to think that's less wins than last year.
I know,
Yeah,
right? Weird to
like a
say.
solid 3, 4
Um,
more less. I mean, crazy. But still got her
I
done.
do
Still
want to
gets to go
shout
to
out Mike
Bristol
Bowman.
and probably get to do all that fun stuff
Yep.
again.
I do want to shout out Mike Bowman though. Technically, with that tie with Dykstra, they also tied in total wins for the year, and Bowman went 7 wins, 8 top fives, 8 top 10s in 9 features attempted.
So they
So,
were the only
given
ones
those
that
other
won.
4 or 5 races, yeah, the only other person, Bardier, got 1 win, and
Oh, at
Dale
Brock.
Curran got a feature win.
Oh yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, which I think we talked about on the last show. I think it was.
Yeah.
We
How
were
many
breaking
features
all
they
this
run then?
down.
Must have
So,
been 16.
um, the most attended is 15. Bardier and
Okay,
Mutton
yeah,
both started 15. So maybe 15 total were on the schedule.
yeah.
Um, looks like, anyways. So, yeah, congrats to Jacob Dykstra. And assuming he will be down in Bristol in the spring to celebrate
Yeah, that's
on
awesome.
the NASCAR Pinty's tour to the Cup race in Bristol. That's pretty cool. Over on the 360 side, tell us about your night first. I mean, not the way you wanted it to go, I'm sure, but after the Friday night success, but you were there.
Yeah.
Talk to us about it.
Saturday, they didn't do much to the track for Saturday, so it was like back to Friday night feature conditions right away in hot laps. And then Saturday, like passing was a little bit more at a premium than Friday was. And so yeah, I just Friday night I got a good draw. Like I said last week, it was gonna be all about the draw. And Friday night I got a good one, ran pretty good. And Saturday I got a bad one and ran pretty bad and just pulled off because we're running like 18th and all those positions pay the same. So I just parked it and said that's it. Watch the rest of the race. And Jordan Poirier from the pole wins his 7th race
Yeah.
in 8 races. There.
Yeah. And I would have liked to see what Paulie could have done because Cola Giovanni, ends up driving from sixth to second, so falls one spot short. But with maybe a bit of help from a caution or something, maybe Paulie could have done something there. Um, Man, that Tennessee is fun to watch. Like, as someone who wasn't really all that aware of Cola Giovanni until this year, he has been a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, and he's got one of the best crew chiefs in the biz for like rolling the middle and getting up to the top like that the way he does. So and Kevin Lovey's, and so yeah,
Hmm.
definitely like he passed me in the heat race on Friday, and I swear to like the tack was at like 9,800, just wow, like they are, yeah,
Just wound
just
up.
giving her.
Yep. Chuck Keebing third, Holly Porter fourth, and Matt Farnham fifth on Saturday night in the Knights of Thunder finale race. And for the points over on the Knights of Thunder, championship went to Mitch Brown from Brantford, Ontario.
Yeah, congrats to Mitch. Like they made a post on Facebook. I think Dale Cowan posted it because he junked his car in hot laps at Brighton, and they had to fix it for the heat. And if they didn't do that, that would have been no championship. So that hour that they put all that stuff back together saved their championship, and that kind of stuff is what wins championships. So Mitch has won the Ash Weekend Championship before, I think SOS too. So no stranger to championships. And then you got second annual KOT series.
Yep.
Congrats, Mitch Brown.
Yeah, and just a model of consistency too, right? Like not a very opposite season to the Action Sprint Tour champion Dykstra. Brown just one feature win, six top fives, seven top tens in nine feature events, and that was more than enough for him to get the title done by 34 points over Corey Turner. Ryan Turner ended up third. Nick Sheridan, congrats to the rookie Nick Sheridan fourth, and Josh Hansen fifth in the championship standings. But way to go, Mitch Brown! Congrats again. And I mentioned the Turners. They are part of silly season. Where it's funny, I didn't really expect to be talking about silly season, but here in the local area, we got some silly season news to talk about. Corey Turner going to the 17X.
Yep. So yeah, soon, like the very next day after Humberstone. Usually they wait a week for that stuff. Man, they were all over it. Very next day, McNamara announced him and Nathan Eklund were parting ways in the 17X after he was Nathan's first 360 driver. I think they got 3 wins together, almost won a championship. And yeah, they calling it. So Mac's out of a ride for the moment. Sure, he'll find something to do. Otherwise, I think he still has a TQ midget that he owns, anyways. And I'm sure he'll find something, like I said. So yeah, Corey Turner moving into the 17X. And there was rumors like that Steyrs had bought the Burger Barn stuff, and like Corey was going to go there, but clearly that ain't happening. So yeah, 17X, Corey Turner. And also Jesse Costa's going there to run the crate, and as well Gledhill moving up to be 360 teammate to Corey, and they're keeping Austin Rose in the crate as well.
Nice. Yeah, it's funny that all works out for that team. Burger Barn. It sounds like their future is in question as of right now. Doesn't sound like there's any specific plans laid out yet for 2023 and beyond. We'll see what comes over the wintertime. Things change. But yeah, Corey Turner to the 17X. You got to assume, I think Ryan Turner's probably staying in that 15 car with all the success he's had.
They already
Yeah.
announced that. Yep, Liam Martin, number 9, Ryan
Yeah.
Turner, 15.
That's
They announced that right before the
Yeah,
Nationals,
right.
I
That's what I
think.
thought. So that's pretty awesome stuff to see
Yeah.
that situation get worked out. So we know where both the Turners are going to be next year. We know where Darren Dryden's going to be. He's going to be joining the 360 ranks. We reported it is official now. But look at us. We're like the
Yep.
insiders.
Yeah. It wasn't like I was talking to his crew chief, Steve Gary. It wasn't much of an like everyone saw him roll the motor from Poirier's trailer down to theirs at the Nationals. Well, a few people did anyways, so no
Yeah.
hiding that. So yeah, I didn't think it was that big of a secret when I said it, and it really wasn't. But they announced it
Yeah.
officially.
And I'm
So
excited for Darren.
congrats to them.
Yeah,
Can't wait to
right. I
race
think
them.
it's going to be great. Great to see Darren up into that car. And one other bit of silly season stuff that just came across my Facebook feed. It looks like Mike Bowman is selling a modified. I don't know if that is his only modified in the stable right now. I don't have enough knowledge to confirm that. But with the success that Mike Bowman had in the crate sprints, I mean, it's kind of, does he really need to do both? You could just stick with sprints for now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I am about 98% sure that's his only modified because he had bought a 2022, but that car did not have a great life as it had to get a front clip put on it within 5
Mm-hmm.
races, I think, or 4 at Ransomville. And then I think a race or 2 after that, that
Yeah.
Humberstone wreck where his steering box broke or whatever happened and he hit the inside wall. That was
Yeah.
scary as heck. And that was the end of that car right there. Actually, that's not true. He did end up fixing that car and selling it to someone else, bought the frame. So that car's not dead yet. That car's still living, but not at Mike Bowman's. And I'm pretty sure this is the last one yet. And his post was pretty hilarious and very true.
Yeah.
with when it comes to selling race cars.
Yeah,
So
for sure. So, if anybody wants to buy a modified that has been well taken care of and is probably pretty fast on terms of being a race car, Mike Bowman might have something for you. And as far as I know, I guess we still know. I don't think anybody's bought Cody McPherson's Sportsman yet either. So, uh, not that I've seen, anyways. So
no.
we'll see what happens with that as well. Another fast car up for sale, and another driver whose silly season plans have yet to be fully announced. And I look forward to seeing what Cody gets up to next year.
Oh, yeah, he's definitely not getting out. I can say that. I know what car he bought and everything. Might have used to be a number 6, so maybe.
Hmm.
Who knows?
Maybe, sort of.
Hmm.
We'll see. That's another rumor that we'll get into at a later date. Maybe we can bring
Maybe we
Cody
can.
on with that one.
Maybe. I'm not sure.
We've got to talk about Utica Rome, Cole Cup. You were down there on, what was that, Tuesday night?
Yeah, that was my first trip over the border since the whole pandy thing. So definitely felt good to get back over there and just I forgot how good the food tastes and stuff. We had Arby's.
Mm-hmm.
I swear it tastes better than over here. Way better. Like buffalo chicken slider they had over there was just the craziest thing I've ever had. And their pop tastes
Nice.
better. And the racing was
Yeah.
yeah, the
It's
racing
all
was
the
awesome
extra
too.
sugar and everything else.
Yeah, like Jason Barney, he came up to us to Humberstone the 2 weeks, and like back in the day when he came up, it was usually like a win or a top 5, but like he struggled, didn't get a top 10 out of it. I think he was 12th Friday and loaded up for the feature on Saturday,
Mm-hmm.
and then yeah,
Mm-hmm.
good turnaround for him. He was definitely like he said in Victory Lane, like how his son and crew still believes in him. If it wasn't for them, he'd hang it up. Like I was kind of hearing that kind of stuff. Like he was definitely sounding like he was doubting himself a little bit. So yeah, I was thinking about bringing the car. Wish I didn't because he won the race running the bottom just like I do. And
Mm-hmm.
the guy who builds my cars, Sean Donis, finished 5th, and he ran really good as well. Jordan Poirier had a bit of an off night. He was running like about 12th and then had a problem and had to pull off. And so it was definitely weird to see the old 28 not running completely up front. But Jonathan Preston led the whole race, running the top, and then Barney just slowly reeled him in, and that race was a 30 lapper. And Jason's no stranger to Utica Rome. That's like his home track. Race Sportsman all the way up through there, so got it done.
Nice. Awesome stuff.
And then Matt Shepard destroyed them in the
I was
modifieds.
gonna say
Not even close.
Shepard just destroyed the modified. Was that the modern day Outlaw 50, right? So,
Yep.
funny stuff.
That was like a sail panel race, but every car had sail panels.
Yeah.
But he started 9th. Larry White finished 2nd. He was the only one really close. And he wasn't even close. He was almost half track behind. But
Yep.
anyway. Yeah. But yeah, Matt got the lead about lap 24. And then see you.
Yep. And then over the next night, over at Brewerton.
No, the same night, Weedsport.
Well,
First night.
I was gonna talk about Brewerton. Brewerton was the 5th, right?
Okay,
Which is Wednesday.
Weedsport was technically the first night.
Okay, so let's go
the same night as Utica Rome.
Right, let's go Weedsport first then. Then we won't mix it up.
A local wins both nights. Let me fill you in, just in different classes. Okay, and
go for it.
Oh, you want me to start?
Yeah, you go with the Weedsport.
So yeah, I forget who wins. Yeah, Weedsport. I forget who won the modifieds. But I know Cody McPherson won the Sportsman. Picked up $2,500, 75 lap Sportsman special up there.
Yep.
And the modifieds was Max and McLaughlin.
Yeah, you got it.
I just rewatched the feature on Dirt Vision right before this. I just had to clue into my memory. He started 12th and won. Matt was up to like 6th or so, had a problem, and Ronnie Davis Jr. was running real good, and then he clipped the inside wall, pulled to Travis Cunningham, and then he had to park it, which sucked because he led a whole bunch of it. And then, yeah, little remnants of my season there. I felt bad for him. And definitely knew what it felt like for him, that's for sure. And, yeah, main thing there, Cody picking up the win. Nelson Mason was also 9th.
Yeah.
So a local guy there.
Pretty impressive because I think that his very first trip to Weedsport too? Did he make one earlier in the season?
Yeah, and I got to tell this story. Sorry, Nelson, because we were right behind him at the border going over the Fort Erie Bridge, and he got his trailer just a little bit stuck at the border and had a little ordeal trying to get out of there. But just to see, it was just him and his dad in their little, whatever you want to call that trailer with like the ramps, like a car hauler trailer, open trailer. Nothing fancy. There was like over 50 sportsmen there, and he pulls it down there and wheels her up to 9th. So pretty awesome.
Pretty stuff.
Me.
And to clarify, like literally stuck, not just stuck in customs or something like that. Like you watch the trailer get stuck at the bridge, eh?
Yeah, like the back 16th of the trailer,
Yeah.
like not much, just the last little bit of it got cocked when he was trying, because the Peace Bridge is way tighter. Anyone with a trailer, if you're going to the Peace Bridge, don't go to the left lanes like you used to be able to. You have to go to the RV lane or get in the truck lane, because you ain't going to make that turn. No way. You're going to rip your trailer apart on the booth. Go to the right-hand side at the Peace Bridge, because you can't do it no more at the regular lanes with the trailer, because you used to be able to, no problem. So yeah, up to that. And yeah, Nelson got her caught, but he got it straightened out. Only took him about 5 minutes. Had to just pull the truck around.
Nice.
So yeah.
All right, and then
Definitely felt for him on that.
well, I hope he continues to kick butt down there, represent well, get some more experience because it's been a heck of a season for the guy. Somebody else that it's like this goes without saying, but Matt Williamson is just having a fantastic year. He gets it done at Brewerton on the 5th, winning that one over Max McLaughlin, Tim Sears, and that was the top three there. I don't did Cody was in the Brewerton race, I think, as well for the Sportsman. No,
Yeah, just a little bit of an off night for Cody
but
in the Sportsman, but
someone we should shout
Nelson
out.
Mason won his heat in the Sportsman.
Yeah, I was gonna say so Cody finishes 9th. Got to give a shout out to Justin Sharp, who's running what?
9th is an off night with 50 cars. Sorry about that, Cody.
Yeah, I know, right? I mean, the standards
He had a
we have
loaded
for him,
heat too as well.
crazy
I
standards.
remember thinking that about Cody's heat last night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
He probably thinks the same way though. So
yeah, for sure, he definitely would.
yeah.
He's a pretty competitive guy. Justin Sharp brings it home 12th. Got to give him a shout out. And
Yeah.
Jessica Power ended up 26th.
Yeah. Shout out to all those guys. Like I said, Nelson Mason won his heat as well. Sharpie won the B main, as I like to call it, but they call it the last chance showdown, but it's a B main to me. And he was running the top, and it was really exciting to watch him in there. So they wheeled her up to 12th from the B main starting spot. So
Yep, and Brad Rouse too. Don't forget Brad Rouse also was in that one.
Yeah, there's so many down there. Trevor Wright was there too. We didn't qualify. He had a little mishap in the heat, but he's got her fixed. Going to give Oswego a try. And I'm sure we're missing people. There's a ton of locals down there. Good to see that at Dirt Week again, finally.
Yeah.
All the locals down there.
Representing.
Like, oh, love to see it. Finally, guys.
I think you think there's like some people that are rattled? I was going to say probably rattled that you're like, oh, really? Now we open the border. You guys come down here kicking our butts again?
Yeah, well, Matt's always been kicking their butt. He's been the one that's been able to do it, and they kicked their butts last night. 3 in a row now. I think he's won that race. They're saying that's some tying Alan Johnson with some thing on the broadcast last night, about 3 in a row. But he had a little run-in with Mahaney earlier in the race, called him, whatever he called them, dishes and pans or pans and whatever in Victory Lane. It was pretty funny. Pots and pans, yeah. Oh, man, yeah. Funny stuff. Anyway, yeah, Matty Williamson.
And then so far today, as we record this, qualifying is in the books. Friesen gets fast time. Matt Williamson 3rd, and Gary Lindbergh 5th on the speed charts.
Yeah, definitely. Gary Lindbergh's always fast at Oswego. I think I said that last week. Or I said it at some point. But anyway, yeah. I thought Matt was going to get the pole after his yesterday sweeping every time he was on the track. He was quick time, big block or small block. But yeah, he was 3rd, which is fine. You're still locked in the heat. You get a front row starting spot in your heat race, which I'm literally watching on Dirt Vision at the minute as it's just starting to show a picture of a raindrops in the lights. So might not get to watch 358 heats tonight. But yeah, Matt's going to be outside row on that. Stewie's on the pole. What's that put Lindbergh? They're twins, so he'll be 2nd row inside.
Yeah.
So yeah, all good spots. They're all in, so it's just setting.
There would be 3rd row.
Anyway, they're all in, so yeah.
Yeah.
It's all that matters. Try not to wreck, because then they're going to start in the exact same spots where they're locked in.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then past champions, big block modifieds, also ran their hot laps. Friesen 2nd, Williamson 4th or 5th over there in that limited run of hot laps. That is all we have up to date so far in Super Dirt Week. More to come. Obviously, Travis, you didn't end up going down there, so we'll be following it from afar a little bit and taking it all in. And in the meantime, I think it's about time we catch up with our guest this week, Christopher Hale.
Hey, do you like what you're hearing? Want to support the Southern Ontario Dirt Show and help us expand our coverage across the province and Western New York? Well, your ad could be playing right here. Got a brand or business that deserves more attention? Email us, southernontariodirtshow@gmail.com to become a sponsor of the podcast. And now, let's get back to the show.
And we are back on the Southern Ontario Dirt Show. Jonathon Howe, Travis Cunningham, joined by Chris Hale, driver of the number 79 Thunderstock, Street Stock, Hoosier Stock, whatever you want to call it. You can call this guy a winner because he usually finds himself at the front of the field wherever he races. So, welcome to the show, Chris. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me on, guys. I appreciate it a lot.
Coming on a big win on Saturday night at Humberstone Speedway, 3,000 to win. You wrap it up. Tell us about the drive on and making it out and beating maybe the most intense field of street stock drivers we've seen this year has been fantastic for your class.
Yeah, no, you can't argue with the car counts. Like Oshweekend every Friday night, it's been an amazing car count. Brighton's been killing it too. We ended up going to Humberstone for the 3,000 to win, taking home top spot. So yeah, we can't complain anything about that. It was a great race. It's nice to have those events where guys come in from other tracks, try and barn storm, come in and take the money. But yeah, no, we got her done, and yeah, it was a great show, great competition.
Just tell us a little bit about the race. Like, I didn't catch much of it. I was getting ready, or I was packing up for my race, but I saw that you were leading it all. But to just like, where'd you start, and tell us about any battles throughout the race and everything.
Yeah, no, so I got lucky enough to draw number 6 coming through the gate for my heat race, and ended up leading my the 4th heat all the way to the end with Dave Bailey just behind me. Which, being a duel in the dirt race, if you win your heat race, you get an extra 2 points. So it was pretty crucial to do well in your heat race. And I was lucky enough to redraw 3rd for the main event. So yeah, pretty much from the start, Donnie Lamon, he led the race. And I was just trying to figure a way around him. And Ryan Beagle came from 7th in I think like 3 laps on the outside, and kind of showed a line up there. So I followed around, or I followed Beagle around Donnie Lamon, and I got to the inside of Beagle. So we ended up taking the lead on lap 7 or 8, and we didn't look back.
Awesome.
I knew Beagle was there for the most part. A couple times when we'd hit lap traffic, pretty condensed, there was just nowhere to go, and he'd make a move to the outside. But the bottom was where it was at. The grip was down there coming out of the corners. I knew as long as I didn't give up the bottom, there wasn't a lane for Beagle to get around. So, but no, it was a lot of lap cars. I think we had 31 cars start the event, and I think we lapped all the way up to 7th before we even had a caution. So you know what, it was a great run, and then yeah, we came back through the field again on a long green flag run, and yeah, unfortunately there was a caution with three laps to go, and
Yep.
Beagle did make an attempt on the outside, but there just wasn't enough out there for him. So.
Did you have any fear that like I feel like Ryan's got the reputation of being a pretty clean guy. That's the last thing he's ever do. But for 3,000, did you have any fear that he might give you the bumper at any point, try to give a bump and run to get you out of the way?
I thought he might give a little bit of a harder tap than what he did, personally. Because I mean, $3,000 when we race for 500 on a regular night, 3,000 is a pretty big payday. I know I'd probably bump a guy a little bit harder, but no, I'll give it to Beagle. That guy is super clean. He wants to pass you clean, and it's just not his style. I mean, this whole year at Oshweekend, the guy, there's barely a mark on the guy's car. So him and Dave both, they're behind me. Dave was there a little bit after watching the video until his flex plate blew up, but which then took out his transmission. But yeah, both those guys, they race clean. I had no doubt that they wouldn't take you out, even if it's 3,000. It's more. Ryan Beagle and I had a conversation afterwards, and he says there's no way I'd spin you for more money. So no, both of them were very clean.
Awesome. So yeah, I like know nothing about you. Like, one night you showed up at Osh Weekend and you just started going fast, and I remember seeing your trailer a couple times at the Tim Hortons, I think, on whatever that one is, Wilson Road, coming out of. the track there. I think I've seen you there a few times. But just tell us where your racing got started and your whole rise up to where you're at now.
So racing kind of started for me. So my dad, he raced street stock, Canadian modified at Brighton. I was just a young kid, always helping him out. And then he went to pro stock a little bit after that at Brockville and Cornwall. So I grew up around the Kingston area. And then I crewed for a guy named Chris Raby, and who runs 358. I crewed for him for about 10 years, did the whole travel thing. This is one of the first years that I haven't gone to the Super Dirt Week. Just with I ended up having a kid, and I haven't been able to make my way down there since. But I crewed for him for about 10 years, a lot of success, and then I moved this down to Cambridge area for work. So I figured, well, it's my turn to get behind the wheel. In 2016, I bought a Thunderstock off of one of the guys at Oshweekon, and for like $5,000, is race ready. Ran my first rookie season. I think I made every race, and it was looking good, but the motor was tired. So I bought a new motor in 2017. Had a good season. I think we won 4 events, which I took home the Brockland Memorial and the duel on the dirt race. I won there at Oshweekon, and then we ended up. It was a great season. Then I ended up going to Southern Ontario Motor Speedway to start the season the next year, and I was going for the lead and made contact with the one guy, broken axle, and I had to reclip the back of the car.
Mm.
So
I remember
pretty
that.
much had to cut my car apart in one. And pretty much it was the start of the 2019 season at Oshweekon. I had to cut the car right in half, rebuild half of it in 1 week, and it just never been the same since. So yeah, 2019 was a hard year for us. 2020 with COVID, we kind of found some speed back in the car, but there wasn't really any events to run. And last year we had great success by finishing up front all the time, but never taking home a win. So it was nice this past year. We got 2 wins, one at Maryville, this big one. Always there at Oshweekon in the top 5, but Dave and Beagle, they kind of stole the show there. They were gone at Oshweekon. I don't know. I didn't know how to catch them, and I tried a bunch of different things, but yeah, they're gone, and that's where we are today. So.
Yeah, that's cool about the Rabby. I didn't know about that. So yeah, you definitely learned how to win over there.
Yeah, it's crewing for him. I will say, I've learned so much on setup. It helps you and it hurts you at the same time, because when I crewed for him for 10 years, we were changing torsion bars in the pits, shocks. We'd throw weird setups at the car, and it'd just work. And I'll give it to Chris. He can drive almost any modified out there, whether it's handling good or not. He figures out a way to get the most out of it. But yeah, I'm trying to take some of that information and put it towards my race program. It can help you because you think you can try something, but then sometimes you get a little too far away from what you should be doing. So
yeah, that's racing.
Yeah, especially when you're not winning. That's the hardest part. When you're winning, even if you're on a podium like 3rd place, you're like, 2 guys beat you tonight. You want to try something next week because you want to be the guy out front, right?
Yep.
So.
And then for every time you go forward, you go backwards twice, it seems. But
sometimes I will say for the 3,000 to win, the night that I won at Maryville, I kind of went back to that same setup and then brought that out, and I made a few tweaks as the night went on, and so yeah, and it ended up working really well. I will say the type of track that Humberstone was that night, with just grip right against the guardrail, was a very similar track.
Yeah.
I almost want to say it was an advantage for the coil cars that night. So.
Yeah. So. You definitely showed it. $3,000 richer. That's like 6 features, right? Yeah.
Yeah, roughly. Yeah. It was a big one. I'll say, biggest so far. The Brock Leonard was pretty big, but
how much does that one pay? $2,000? Brock Leonard?
That one was 2, yes.
Oh, it's $5,000 in 2 races. Hell, if you're gonna win the big ones.
Yeah, yeah. I've ended up getting, or I've gotten 6 wins so far in a Thunderstock, and 3 of them have been over $1,000. So
Nice.
That's the way to
Yep.
do it.
yeah, when the money's on the line, I guess I come out.
Yeah. Turn it up.
That's awesome. That's a great way to have it. Something funny that's happened for us for, I think this makes it 3-1 in terms of Thunderstock drivers that we've had on the show who run the metric car. So talk to us about the metric car that you drive, and um, I'm assuming that's still the same car minus the fact you had to reclip the back, but it's the same car you bought back in 2017. Did you have any interest in going towards, like one of those Camaro Trans Am style bodies?
Yeah. So kind of the way things were shaping up this year, I was kind of getting tired of finishing third to fifth at Oshweekend. So um, I was considering buying a Camaro for next season. Just the biggest difference is the front end geometry on them. They're a better geometry over the metric, and the problem with the metric, I find you have to drive them so aggressive. You can't just sit there and coast and try and hit your marks and try and be super clean. If you don't drive them aggressive, they just don't stick. You end up getting in a 4-wheel slide. But when you do hit them, they work. They're great. And the nice thing about them, like, because I like to make quite a few adjustments as the track is changing. There's a lot more adjustability on those cars over the Camaros. So I was considering a Camaro, but I'm probably just going to be sticking with the metric right now. I kind of like I said, I kind of figured out something here that really worked well, and I think it just needs a fresh mill underneath the hood, and then yeah, that's kind of going to be for 2023. So
Metric car lives.
Awesome. I mean, it's kind of hard to go away. It's kind of hard to go away from a car that wins you $3,000.
exactly, and even like I was saying to Ryan Beagle, like we're looking at that track, and so his Gen 3 is a coil car as well.
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking at it, and we're kind of saying, like, if we get a lot of tracks like that, the coils can be a bit of an advantage over the leaf spring. So
Yep.
it just depends on how the tracks are being prepped that year too. Like I found this year at Oshweekend that there's a lot more bite in the track than there has been in previous years. So maybe we'll have a real dry year next year, and it'll be the better way to go.
You got something, Travis? Or you want me to go? I was actually gonna follow up with that a little bit. I It's funny that you mentioned the adjustability of the metric car, and for me, I think the biggest thing watching your division is that you have to be flexible, and that the field is so evenly tight. But the one thing you mentioned that was that you have to drive the car more aggressively. Is that in your driving style to be in a more aggressive driver who's going to be able to make that car lean on itself and rotate the way you need? Or do you think maybe the Camaro actually might suit your driving style a bit better because you want to be more smooth and consistent like a Dave Bailey is?
Yeah, it's like a catch-22. I do like driving aggressive. I like getting like into the corners and making the car work for you. The only problem is when you switch over to Camaro, and it's been a problem I feel like in a lot of the classes, is that the cars are starting to get pretty pricey. Like if you want to run up front, you got to go out and buy the best, right? Or you're kind of putting yourself at a bit of a disadvantage. You can do it yourself and hope that you kind of get lucky, but Concept One builds a pretty good chassis. Like guys at Brighton, like Justin Ramsey. Actually, I don't say maybe the top 3 guys there are all running Concept One chassis. Even Merrittville, a lot of those guys all have top notch chassis from builders. So yeah, it's kind of tough. I'd like to say maybe that Camaro would suit my driving style a bit better, but it'd be almost like starting over again too. I don't know a lot about the leaf spring, how the leaf spring works. There's a lot of improvements that guys have kind of found out some neat little tricks recently to get those cars to bite better. But like I said, the metric is it's just so hard too that you can't really talk to too many other drivers because no one else is doing well in a metric. So you're kind of on an island all by yourself.
Yeah,
okay, my
fair
last
enough.
one for you. So, like, I didn't know you were from the Brighton area. I always thought like you were from the Buxton area for some reason because you live in Guelph. Yeah, I never put that together. So, who were like you mentioned your dad? Who were your other heroes growing up in the racing?
You know what? Barefoot Bob
Oh,
McCready.
I
I
love
watched
it.
that guy Can-Am.
Yeah.
Tim McCready, his son. He's always been like I always used to love watching him when he was running up in the north. I got to meet Bob McCready quite a bit. He was helping out his other son Jordan a lot at Can-Am. So back 10 years ago, they'd be hitting a couple down from us, and that's the guy that I watched all the time. That guy dominated in modifieds. Yeah, he was always a good shoe. Other guys that like higher up, I always liked watching Dale Earnhardt.
Me too.
He was always just watching him. I was still young when he passed, but
I know.
still watching those old tapes and stuff like that. The Dominator, is pretty cool.
Yeah, me too.
Awesome. Well, we'll get you out of here on this one, Chris. So I'm going to give you the opportunity. You can drive any car, any car. It doesn't matter what it is. One car, one racetrack for the rest of your life. What's your combination that you pick?
I'd probably say I'd love to try like a World of Outlaw late model at Eldora Speedway. Like those guys.
All right.
Yeah, going there. Like that track looks awesome. Tony Stewart has it looking top notch, and no, it'd be pretty cool to drive a late model. I just the way they work and to pretty much have your foot into it to get them to turn is pretty neat.
Yep.
Nice. Awesome. Does that mean you may have some late models here locally in your future that you'd want to try, or do you want to stick with just the street stocks for, I know you mentioned for 2023, that's the plan, but late models may be the goal eventually?
I'd love to run a late model. I mean, Southern Ontario has a competitive class down there. I mean, the problem with their rule book is being UMP. Late models, like they're just the motor bills can get crazy.
Yeah.
Honestly, if there's something I would like to do in the future, like near future, it would be the 602 crate class. It looks competitive. It looks affordable. Biggest problem is like I do have a crew guy or two crew guys that help me out quite a bit, and they'd be committed. But I do know when you make the jump into sprint car, you kind of need somebody there every night, guaranteed to push you over to the line.
At least one person to ride the quad, that's for sure.
One person to ride the quad, and yeah, it's just the 602 crate just looks so cool, and it's affordable for a lot of guys. That's what I like about them.
Mm-hmm.
They're not too expensive. I'd almost say in a way they're almost cheaper than a Thunderstock. You guys would probably tell me different, but at least with a Thunderstock, if you hit the wall, it's going to cost you. It'll probably cost you less than $1,000. But do know when you hit the wall in a sprint car, it's probably a new car. So
that's the difference. You nailed it.
Yeah, that's the difference.
Fair enough.
But no, I'm not too sure exactly what next class that I'd like to jump into, but I already own everything for Thunderstock, and with the payouts the way they are, it's affordable. So
yep.
Nice. Well, we wish you best of luck into 2023. Congratulations again on picking up the big check at Humberstone on Saturday night. And thanks for taking the time tonight, Chris.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me on. I appreciate it. And we'll be watching for sure.
Thanks, Chris.
Awesome. Take care, man.
All right, talk to you guys later.
And the checkered is out on another episode of the Southern Ontario Dirt Show. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe for future episodes. Connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Southern Ontario Dirt Show. Have a question for the show? Email us, southernontariodirtshow@gmail.com. Thanks for supporting local racing in Southern Ontario, and we'll see you at the track.